Hi, this is 365801 and this is a 2025 Buzzword Reading Challenge TBR and recommendations video. Welcome to video number 6 in this series of TBR and recommendations videos, specifically for the Buzzword Reading Challenge hosted by Kayla from Books and Lala. I have a link in the description down below to the announcement video that she made so that you can check that out and see her recommendations for all of the different months. And of course, you can also get access to any of the visuals that you might need to post to any social media covering your reading for the year. Every month it is either a thematic word or a specific word, and we have June's, and June's is going to be a thematic one, and it is going to be memory words. Now, sometimes these thematic months can be really simple and easy, and there's loads and loads of options. Sometimes it's so difficult because there are too many options, but sometimes it's a little bit trickier because there's not so many options. Now, obviously, the first thing I'm going to do is go on over to my spreadsheet and type in the word memory and see what comes up. Now, what comes up is false memories. This is the only thing that I have that has memory or memories in the title, but this is one that I've already read before. False Memories by Isaku Natsume. This is a 2-volume series where we follow childhood friends who reunite when they're older after something has happened. Something's gone wrong in their relationship, and they have to try and see if they can make amends again. And they are now having to work together as colleagues from 2 different companies on a toy. It's kind of like, I think he works for like Square Enix or something. Obviously they use one of those fake names. But it's a toy company and a toy like manufacturer, a larger company, and the 2 of them have to work together after being reunited. So yeah, false memories, things from the past. This is what this one is all about. But as I've said, I have read this already. This would have to be a reread for me. And I was kind of hoping to be able to read as much of my collection that I haven't read already for these buzzword challenges, which makes it a little bit more tricky. So I have to go back over to Kayla's video and see what other words she recommends and put that into my spreadsheet. Now, the examples that Kayla uses are remember, forgot, forget, confuse, mind, and she said if you're really struggling, you can maybe use the word no. And that's the only way that I'm going to get any examples other than false memories. So yeah, we're going to have to look at all of the no words in my collection. Now, the first one I have here is Dost Thou Know, which is an absolutely ridiculous title, especially because in Japanese it says Kimi Shiruya, which it just seems like a totally, normal thing to say, whereas Dost Thou Know is a little bit over the top. This is a Satoru Ishihara story, and I just recently read another Satoru Ishihara and was pleasantly surprised. It's not the art style that I like. I don't particularly like the art style, but I do like the fact that the story's always more meaty and interesting than you would first think. This is the story of high school, as you can see. High schoolers in kendo, so they're all about like sports, so it's very sporty. And I remember when I first read it, because I've only read it once, I had it in my collection for a long time, and I finally read it and I was so pleasantly surprised. Like, I would be put off by the art style, but by the end of it I thought, yeah, this was actually pretty good and I really enjoyed it, and it was quite an interesting one. I felt like this was a much more pleasant representation of the types of works that were being produced back in 2003. Wow. And this was published in 2005. So this is a 20-year-old English copy, and yet even older in Japanese. And I really enjoyed the fact that it wasn't as negative as you might think the stories from back then were. So yeah, this is one I actually do recommend. Dost thou know? Give it a go. See what you think. Let me know. If you've already read it, I'd love to know what your thoughts are. I thought it was really interesting, sort of interpersonal relationships, family dynamics as well. This was really something that I did enjoy, and I do look at this and go, oh, that was a pleasant surprise. So here's a wee stack of some of the things I have either picked up recently or brought from either collection, and that is Your Story I've Known by Suzuki Tsuta. This is the story of a boy who ends up having some sort of relationship with, I think, a man who went out with his mother. Sort of, so Yakuza are there, but it's kind of like what would have happened in, I don't know, it's a little bit, it does kind of have a reminiscence of Twittering Birds in terms of some of the story, in terms, like, it's a weird one that I kind of always associate with that, in terms of, like, if something positive had come out of it rather than negative. This is a little bit more hopeful, and but at the same time I'm like, not too sure how I feel about it. And it's been a long time since I've read this. I bought it years ago. It's in my other collection, and I read it, and I haven't picked it up since. So I think it does deserve a reread, just because it's been quite a long time. And I remember really loving Suzuki Tsuta's other works, and a lot of them weren't ever brought over into English, which is a real shame, because we now have Barbarities. I'm needing to get volume 4 for her, and I really do like her art style and her storytelling style. So yeah, this is one that I could go put on my TBR for this month. Now, one that I haven't read yet, I've put on my TBR a few times. I do keep putting it on a TBR. This is a one-shot. This is You Don't Know Me by Rakun, and this is a netcomics one. I have never actually read the back of this. I have no idea what this is about. It's just in my collection, and I haven't read it, and it has a word that I could use. So yeah, this is a netcomics one that I probably should be reading, because I do have quite a few netcomics I haven't actually read. And it's a perfectly good one-shot that seems like it's accessible. So yeah, friends, best friends, friends to lovers, that's what it seems to be. I have no idea. I'll have to read it and let you know. Now, here in the Yen Press section, I have a couple of volumes, the omnibus volumes. I only have 2. I do need to pick up the rest of the series. This is The Betrayal Knows My Name by Hotaru Odagiri. They are chunky. There's a lot in here. So this is a kind of supernatural one. There is an anime that goes along with it. I've watched the anime. I even bought some goods when I was in Japan, because it kind of has that sort of, good looking boys type thing. It kind of felt like the people who liked Vampire Knight would like this, that kind of thing. So yeah, it had that kind of character designs and stuff. It's about magic and fighting and all that kind of but obviously the artwork was by Hotaru Odagiri, so it kind of had that boys love kind of feel. Although, is it BL, is it not? It was very slashable back at the time, and it had that sort of gothic vibes, which people seem to enjoy as well. So yeah, I only have the 2 volumes, but I definitely could read these, and it might give me the impetus to be a bit more proactive about picking up the next volumes. In fact, I might just look for them just now, go shopping, see what I can get. So yeah, I have 2 volumes of this that I definitely could read. This next one is in my stacks. The stacks to be determined as to where to put them. Only the Stars Know. This is a Nagisa Furuya, so obviously I'm going to love it. And I have actually started reading it. I don't know, I got like halfway through and then just got distracted. So yeah, unfortunately, I never finished it, even though I was enjoying it perfectly well. So yeah, I haven't actually finished this one. So Only the Stars Know is definitely going on my TBR, because I love Nagisa Furuya, and it's bound to be a good one. Now onto one that I have already read and I did enjoy. This is a 4-volume series, as you can see, of Only the Flower Knows. This is by Rihito Takurai, and it's one that I absolutely love. It's so beautiful. I mean, her artwork is just stunning. And then you've got this sort of like extra prequel at the Flower Capital, which is still part of this whole series. So Only the Flower Knows follows two people at university who end up working together in a lab, and they end up having a connection and feeling obviously some sort of attraction and kind of developing those feelings, and then one of those individuals also having to deal with, I would say, trauma from the past. They're really interesting characters. It's really interesting how it works out, but it's just beautiful. It's just a lovely, lovely story. But yeah, it's one I've already read, so it would go on my recommendations. If you haven't already, I would check this out. This is obviously a June manga title, and yeah, 4 volumes. I think you can pick them up for fairly good prices now, so yeah, no problems at all. And the fact that we actually have it physically, I'm still in awe of. I'm still really joyful about having this as a collection. There's certain ones that I really loved when I was younger, and I just really like having copies of. So yeah, this is one of them that I would definitely put in my like top ones from 20 years ago type thing. Now on to one of the last ones that have no in the title is Only the Ring Finger Knows, as a yaoi novel. This is actually a 5-volume series. Here I have 1, 2, and 3, but I'm pretty sure I have 5 and sneak peek I might have 4 as well. So yeah, Only the Ring Finger Knows, The Lonely Ring Finger. They all have subtitles, which is pretty good for buzzwords as well. But yeah, this is by Satoru Kanagi and Hotaru Odagiri. So yeah, pretty prolific names, and obviously ones that we recognize. So yeah, this is the story of 2 people who get together, I think in high school, but it's been such a long time. I definitely feel like I could be up for a read, even if I don't get to read it all in this month. I could probably read it throughout the rest of the year and see if I could get the rest of it from my other collection. But yeah, this is a pretty popular one from back in the day as a story, and it was very popular in Japan. Now, another one that I originally thought maybe this would work, and I'm kind of putting it out to you watching. What do you think? Would this actually count? Because it is one that I haven't read, and I am trying to read ones that I haven't read. So yeah, this is Yuna Aoi's Awaken Forest, and I thought maybe this would work. I don't actually know what it's about at all, but I just thought maybe awaken might be a word that might seem like a memory one. If you awaken from a dream, then you're like trying to remember like where you are and also what your dream was. Maybe this is a bit of a stretch, but like I said, the thematic ones are generally you can sometimes stretch them a bit. So yeah, this is my stretch one, and it is Awaken Forest. What do you think? So this is everything that I've pulled off my shelves or piles on the ground in my drawers, just so that I can give you a little quick TBR maybe and some recommendations. Obviously the very first one and the only one that I really truly recommend, because it's 100% part of the prompt, is False Memories. It's an Isaku Natsume one. It's easy to read. It's easy to get hold of, I think. There was a time when it was difficult, but I think it should be fairly straightforward to get it now. They've been quite good about doing their reprints. So yeah, Isaku Natsume. It's a nice, easy one to read. It does actually feel a little bit denser when you're reading it, because there's a lot more to the story. It's a lot of work stuff. But yeah, it's not my absolute favourite of Isaku Natsume's though. So yeah, it's one that I still think is a good one. Only the Flower Knows is going into the nose, because that's only the other things that we have. That's a really great 4-volume series. And Dost Thou Know, Satoru Ishihara, is an odd one because it is so old, but I also do think it's pretty good, although the art style is obviously not to my taste as well. And then my little TBR includes Only the Ring Finger Knows, which is a really difficult one to get a full complete set of all of the novel volumes. They are both DMP and June yaoi novels. So yeah, this one's one that I don't actually know how it ends because I've never actually read it. You Don't Know Me is a Net Comics Raccoon. I also have no idea what it's about. Your Story I've known, I have read already, but I would definitely put it in a, I think I need to read this again and see what I think. And Only the Stars Know, I've half read. I have no idea why. I think I was in the middle of it in like November or December and I got very busy. So yeah, that's why, probably. And then I have The Betrayal Knows My Name, which I really do need to try and see if I can get the rest of. And Awaken Forest, which is a bit of a wild card. One, because I haven't read it and I don't know if it's worth it. I think maybe I could, what do you think? I really do want to know. What do you think? Is awaken an okay word for memory words? Let me know. And also, of course, if you can think of any other BL titles, especially the new ones, I say this at the end of every video, if you can think of any recommendations for me that are memory related words in the newer BL that's being released. I am always shopping, I'm always buying stuff, but I'm pretty poor at keeping up to date with what's being announced and what's being released. Just because it seems like there's an awful lot these days, isn't there? There's a lot of BL getting produced. So yeah, I would love to hear your recommendations as well, especially I think it would be helpful for anyone else who's watching this video down in the comments. Let me know what you think of any of these titles, if you've read them or if you plan to read them, if you've read any of the other recommendations so far. I will try and have another one of these up for next month as well. I'm trying my best. So yeah, take care guys. Thanks so much for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye!